Good morning, everyone. We are the group that I'm gonna present about the Linux Lite, and we have our group members here: John, Selden Canseco, Ravi Jake Laor, and myself, Kent Aaron Horolan. So let's start about introducing of Linux Lite. Okay. So next slide, please. So what is Linux Lite? Linux Lite is a Linux distribution based on the Debian and Ubuntu, created by a team of programmers led by Jerry Bessington, and it uses a customized implementation of X-Face as its desktop environment and runs on the main Linux kernel. So Linux Lite is a very simple Linux distro with some amazing features, and the name Linux Lite suggests it is a lightweight tool with very easy to use. So the exciting thing here is about Linux Lite is it delivers an impressive boosted performance with an elegant user interface and a set of power tools that encourages even the Linux newcomers to use Linux for their daily life easier, and could customize it as they own it. So this makes Linux Lite a brilliant choice for Windows users who are looking to switch to Linux. So next slide, please. So what is Linux used for? So Linux Lite was developed to enable the transition through Windows to the based OS as efficiently as possible. And this distribution pursues the Linux philosophy regarding software programming and selection. It uses to the latest era, write programs that do one thing and do it well. So since you know what Linux is, now you might be asking, what can I do with Linux? So for simple calculators to advanced graphics editing tools, Linux can in fact run all kinds of software you are used to running on Windows or Mac OS. So for example, is browsing the web, an essential utility on any modern PC, and Linux desktop always come packaged with at least one web browser. So most will have Firefox or Chromium installed by default, and but you can also get regular Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and or Brave. Also, you can use it as for emailing. So beyond using webmail in a browser, you can manage your inbox with your choice of several email clients for Linux. Some popular choices include the Thunderbird, and Evolution, and they often give you an experience like Microsoft Outlook, but more simplified and streamlined. Also, you can use it for office work. So Linux typically comes with a complete office suite like LibreOffice, Apache OpenOffice, or suite. Okay, so Microsoft Office won't run natively on Linux, although for the dedicated user, we do have the same workaround. So also we can use it for gaming. Yes, contrary to popular belief, you can game on Linux. How is that possible? So increasingly, thanks to a Linux app called Wine or Play on Linux that run Windows programs on Linux. Although it's true that many popular games have no native Linux version, Wine lets you get around the problem. So one of the best implementation of Wine is Valve Proton's tool on Steam. So Proton configures Wine to your chosen Windows and maintains it in the background. That means you have to do nothing but install Proton and run the game. Also, you can use it for streaming and playing multimedia. Linux is totally capable of playing your favorite music, video, podcasts like any other operating system. Spotify has a native desktop app for Linux, and several more Linux apps will play local music or stream from other location. VLC player and celluloid can do the same for video. So next slide, please. Okay, so when does Linux Lite created? So it was created last October 26, 2012. So Linux Lite is a Linux distribution based on again Debian and Ubuntu, created by a team of programmers led by Jerry Bessington, and it was created last 2012. and it uses and the distribution aims to appeal the Linux beginners and Windows user by trying to make the transition from Windows to Linux as smooth as possible. And to achieve this, the distribution tries to conserve many of the visual and functional elements of Windows. So to create an experience that can be perceived as familiar by Windows users. Additionally, the distro also sets out to dispel the myth that Linux is hard to use by trying to offer a simple and intuitive desktop experience. So next slide, please. Okay, so this slide will be discussed by John Selden Canseco.
Thank you, Mr. What is the uniqueness of Linux Lite? It has a graphical user interface and other application like word processing application. Linux version of the program can use in other systems as well. Although many core pieces of Linux are similar to other operating systems, similar to distribution of Linux, including many different software operations. However, if you are looking for simple, fast, and lightweight distro, Linux Lite might be the one for you, as it offers a great balance between performance and functionality. Next slide, please. So this is a feature of Linux Lite. First is being open source. Linux is completely free of cost and expenses. Are never a hindrance to using it as an operating system. Linux is open source. This means that modification of code, analysis of codes, the distribution of codes, or selling copies of enhanced codes can be done by anyone in the world, provided they come under the ring license, where the license also costs no charge. Linux operating system is released under GNU, General Public License, and now one of the largest open source projects worldwide. Two, and the next is extremely flexible. Linux has incorporated itself into embedded products like batteries, digital equipment, and supercomputing servers. There are no basic ways for installing an entire Linux suite. It allows the user to install only components that are required by the user. Next, lightweight, lightweight infrastructure. Linux consumes lesser storage space and its installation requires around 40 to 8 gig of disk space. Memory footprint or the amount of memory or RAM used by the software while running is also less and it is compatible with all kinds of file formats like text files, audio files, video files, graphic formats, etc. The next is graphic user interface or GUI. Even though Linux works on using the command line interface, but it can be converted to be used like Windows, having a graphical user interface. This is done mostly by installing packages. The most common way of having GUI on the Linux environment is to log into Ubuntu server and install its desktop to environment. The next is end-to-end encryption. Linux allows end-to-end encryption while processing data, thus storing public keys in the server. All data is password protected and provides authentication to user. It also allows many security features and provides file permission, secure shell, etc. And portable environment. Works on any kind of environment and doesn't depend on the device being high-end or low-ended. A large number of users can be use it at any time, any place, and on multiple devices. It supports all kind of hardware to work on. Multiple distribution or enterprises are also supported by Linux. Linux has its own repository for software that can be used to install the required package. And the next is shell command line interface. The Linux command line interpreter is known as shell that provides an interface between the user and kernel, which then execute programs known as commands. Hence, Linux use command line interface to carry out the execution of tasks, which is comparatively more efficient to execute and take lesser time. It also takes lesser space in the memory. And the last one is customized keyboard. Linux is available in all languages, which makes it acceptable worldwide. That is why language can be changed from keyboard according to the requirements and preferences. User can also build their own customized layout for keyboards. And that's all.
All right, I think we're done reporting about the Linux Lite, and now we will move on about making a demo on the Linux Lite itself. Okay, so just for a moment.